This is day 3 of our Trans-America Trail covering the western half of the United States. We left Salida this morning, went through Poncha Springs there. The plan for the day was to make it to Lake City, hopefully around lunchtime, get a snack and gas, and then try and make it across the passes, Cinnamon, Hurricane, and California to Silverton. I did not mention this in the last video, which was actually numbered as number 5, but again, we had hauled our motorcycles from southeast Texas through Abilene up to the Great Plains Bunkhouse in Oklahoma. We were about 6 hours from the house when my wife called me in a panic. She told me that I had left my Insta360 RS camera, my Cardo, my communication device, and my Garmin InReach on the couch at the house. So anyway, I had to stop and buy a new camera in Amarillo, Texas, an Insta X4. So all during the western half videos, I'm trying to figure out how to use it. And I know neither one of these may be the best video quality out there, but it's all I have. So sorry if the video gets blurry at times. There are also some settings depending on which lens cover you put on. I may have not had the correct setting. Here we're headed up to Marshall Pass, and we had just passed this guy there who was pulling a big travel trailer, and right past him there was a road closed sign. Well, that may have been for vehicles, but it wasn't for motorcycles. You can see the trail there was basically a creek. At least one of our group was a little hesitant to ride up that creek, but it all worked out. Had a little issue there on some of the steep, rocky incline as we got closer to Marshall Pass. We made it to Marshall Pass. One of the guys in that group asked us what route we were riding. I told him we're riding the Trans-America Trail, Sam Correo's version. Well, the other fellow was actually GPS Kevin. It was a little awkward. Just kidding. I had also purchased Kevin's route, and Harry was actually using Kevin's route at the time. Never know who you're going to meet on an adventure. Next little bit is just us riding headed towards Lake City. kind of neat seeing the moose back there. We got to Lake City around 2 to 2:30. Again, I was hoping we would get here by noon because I was hoping to make it to Silverton, but I had a feeling that it would be best to start the approximately 40, 45 something miles across Cinnamon, Hurricane, and California passes in the morning. Thank heavens we did not push it and waited until the following day. We were fortunate to find some cabins there in Lake City. And just a note here on our support truck driver, my father-in-law, he did not follow us or even try to follow us. He just went and rode around different spots and would meet us towards the end of the day once we had a good idea where we were going to actually end up. A screw fell out of my modular helmet, which was causing some issues. So we went to a hardware store there in Lake City, and Billy Oliver found a screw that would fit it along with an assortment of washers. Still using that setup to this day. Day 3 was to Lake City from Salida was 137 miles. Day 4, we left Lake City there around 8:30. I had just a little bit of anxiety because I knew that the passes can be somewhat of a challenge even under the best conditions. And Harry had already shared that he did not have a lot of off-road riding experience. I won't mention any names, but there were a couple of falls along the way. Just a beautiful day. Our first major stop, I guess, Cinnamon Pass. We made it to Silverton probably around 1:30. We don't normally stop for a full lunch break, but after crossing the passes, we needed to all sit down for a little bit and get something to eat. Won't mention any names, but there were a couple of falls.
Well, yeah.
How was it?
Spectacular.
What an adventure.
They need to flatten some of those steep bits a bit. They need to get one of them machines up there. And
They need a lot of machines.
oh man,
Let's go sit somewhere for a minute. We stopped there at the Pickle Barrel in Silverton. At that point, we parted ways with Harry. He decided he wanted to spend a little more time in Silverton, and Billy and I needed to cover more miles. So we took a detour and rode down the $1 Million Highway to Durango, where again we met up with our sports truck driver. Left Durango on day 5, stopped there in Mancos, Colorado. At our gas station, I met those 2 dogs. They're French Mastiffs, Dog de Bordeaux. Of course, that doesn't have anything to do with riding motorcycles, but they were part of our adventure. You see in that picture the 2 dogs together, you can tell by the happy looks on their faces that they are probably married. On day 5, we rode from Durango all the way to Moab, Utah, which ended up being 255 miles. For those of you who are familiar with the Trans-America Trail, once we left the Trans-America Trail there in Silverton and went down to Durango, we were obviously off the official route, so we did not get to do Orford Pass, which I really wanted to do, but fortunately I had already ridden it once before. Next stop will be Moab, Utah for us. Just fantastic ride. Anyway, thanks for riding along. We'll see you next time.